I'm delighted to record this short video to show you the new Consent Form 4, or Treatment in Best Interests functionality in Concentric. With this in place, there should now be no situations where you need to revert to a paper consent form. Capacity assessments and the relevant information for a best interest decision can be documented, with appropriate pathways depending on whether there's a legal power of attorney in place or not. Our aim has been to create a simple flow that guides you through the process without being too different to the concentric process that you're used to. Creating an episode is the same as any other consent type. Click New Episode and select the appropriate treatment or combination of treatments. You will see that there is now an option to change to a Consent Form 4, and when selected, this makes documenting both a capacity assessment and best interest decision required. Documenting a capacity assessment involves stating why it's being assessed, the support being given, stating yes or no to the capacity questions, documenting evidence for those answers, and giving an overall assessment of capacity. Next, best interest decision documentation assesses whether there is a reason for delaying or not undergoing treatment, such as an advance decision. Where there is such a reason, this will block consent being given inappropriately. Depending on whether there is another form of authority, such as a legal power of attorney, there is different logic in terms of what further documentation is needed, and in terms of the consent flow, which we'll see in a minute. In this example, there is no other form of authority, so the responsible clinician becomes the decision maker. Here we document the consideration of alternatives, the patient's past and present wishes, and consultation with others. The other elements are then selected as per the other consent form types, at which point the action bar will say, "Ready to proceed." Here, where the responsible clinician is the decision maker, a summary is documented and confirmation given. At this point, the consent PDF, including capacity assessment and best interest decision documentation, is, where integration is in place, sent to the main electronic health record. Where there's a legal power of attorney appointed, their details are documented, and Consult View can then be used as usual to structure the consent conversation. For the consent flow, the legal power of attorney then confirms that they have the authority to make the decision on behalf of the patient and documents what they have considered in making the decision. The consent flow will then look familiar, acting in a similar way to consent for a child, with the legal power of attorney giving consent on behalf of the patient and the statement and signature of the legal power of attorney appearing on the consent PDF. We hope you find this process slick and easy to use, and as ever, we'd love to hear your feedback.